How do we know when we are successfully pushing back on the police state? In fact, rolling it back, even if marginally, even if in certain areas. Well, one way we know is when the left starts to scream about it, when the left claims unfair, when the left distorts what is happening, but declares that Republicans are doing something awful. So here's a classic article. This is actually from NBC News. How the GOP muzzled the quiet coalition that fought foreign propaganda. What are they talking about? They're talking about the censorship industry, the quiet coalition that fought foreign propaganda, as if to say that the job of the censorship industry is merely to block propaganda coming from Russia or China or some other country. No, the primary function of the censorship industry is to block you and to block me and to control the narrative and to shut down dissenting voices on a whole set of issues. In fact, to shut down truthful voices. That's why they came up with the phrase called malinformation. Malinformation is accurate information that nevertheless is damaging to the left. So let's say, for example, I say, even if you take the vaccine, you can still get COVID. True. Even if you take the vaccine, you can still give somebody COVID. True. But it's malinformation because after all, if a lot of people come to believe that, they may be unwilling to take the vaccine. In other words, my comment may introduce vaccine hesitancy, and that's what makes it, quote, dangerous, and that's what makes it malinformation and susceptible to censorship. So now you read this article, and the article itself is disinformation. I mean, it's actually so twisted that the premise of it, the headline of it, is all deceitful. A once robust alliance of federal agencies, tech companies, election officials, and researchers that work together to thwart foreign propaganda and disinformation has fragmented after years of sustained Republican attacks. Now, this raises an interesting question. If you've got this coalition and their focus has been on stopping foreign disinformation, why would Republicans want to stop it? Why would they try to block it? They wouldn't. But the truth of it is that's not what this censorship industrial complex is all about. It's about shutting down conservatives. So no surprise, conservatives have been speaking out, have been objecting, have been doing what we should do here, suing. And here the article references the Missouri versus Biden case, which resulted both in a federal judge, but also an appellate court, putting restrictions on the Biden administration. Now, those restrictions are on hold pending a Supreme Court review. But the point here is that these government agencies are seeing the writing on the wall. They're seeing if we couldn't win on the federal court level and we couldn't win on the appellate court level, good luck to us, i.e., we're not likely to win on the Supreme Court level. So they've already started pulling back. So here's the article. The most recent setback, and see again, we have to decode these articles. When they say setback, it's actually progress. So the most recent setback came when the FBI put an indefinite hold on most briefings to social media companies. Beautiful. That's very good that they're doing that. Then they talk about how the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, called CISA, has, quote, halted its outreach to Silicon Valley. And they quote somebody from CISA saying, it's not really worth it. We're really not doing much of that anymore. We've kind of shut it down. Again, great news, but presented in the article as regrettable news, as if Republicans are mucking up a very healthy effort to block foreign disinformation. And then finally, the Department of Homeland Security, and I mentioned before that's bigger than the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security is also shutting down some of its censorship operations. So all of this is excellent news. It's excellent news because essentially the censors are now saying, we better get out of this even before the Supreme Court comes in, because the Supreme Court could come in with a very big hammer, and the Supreme Court could not only shut us down, but shut us down in a very decisive way. So maybe we scale back our operations and then we go to the Supreme Court and say, we're no longer doing this, we're no longer doing that. So basically, you don't need to bring the hammer down that hard. So all of this really is progress. It's excellent news. It shows that censorship is at least on the defensive. It hasn't been ended. And frankly, even if we win the Supreme Court case, Google can still censor, YouTube can censor, Facebook can censor. They just can't censor with the help of the government. The government's kind of grubby fingers will be withdrawn from the censorship enterprise. That alone would be progress. And then look forward to more articles from NBC News bemoaning the end of censorship. During times of economic uncertainty and political upheaval, it's crucial to have a reliable source of financial guidance and insight. This is where Dr. Kirk Elliott, PhD, and his esteemed wealth management advisory firm come into play. Dr. Elliott has distinguished himself with 2 PhDs in economics and theology. He's built a reputation in expert financial solutions tailored to your unique needs. His firm specializes in wealth management, offering a comprehensive array of services to protect and grow your assets in an ever-changing world. In an environment filled with economic volatility, shifting political landscapes, finding a trusted partner during these challenges is essential. Dr. Elliott's firm employs cutting-edge strategies and an understanding of markets to guide you toward financial success. Go to KirkElliottPhD.com. That's Kirk Elliott, PhD, with 2 L's, 2 T's. KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh. Book an appointment. They will walk you through their investment process. That's KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh, or you can call or text. Here's the number, 720-605-3900. 720-605-3900.